Oh man. What's up?
What have you thought of spring ball? 2 days in, you got a depth chart, starters solidified, all that.
Yeah, yeah. We got a long way to go. But it's always a fun time of year. I think it's especially fun. There's a new experience when you lose as much productivity as we did. Scary, but it's fun at the same time this time of year. And so seeing those new guys and new roles, obviously we got incoming guys. We got some true freshmen that are on campus that should be high school seniors. It's fun to watch them run around and grasp. I think that by and large, from an execution standpoint, I think we know what's going on. We're still not playing fast enough. But some of that just comes with them understanding what's going on. I do think that, coaches really emphasized fundamentals, and I know that's coach talk during spring practice, but it's like we're going back to the root of all the things that we're doing, how to do it, why we're doing it, and really trying to get in on that. But I think that we got talented players. I think that the guys that we've got back are at the right positions. You'd like to have a quarterback that's back. You'd like to have tackles that are back. So we've got our tight ends are obviously have got a ton of ability, and that we'll have to rely on their experience this year. And so that part of it's been really fun. It was good to transition to pads here pretty quick, and I thought that they tried to be physical on day one. I think that talking about the standard and then showing them the standard and then their teammates holding them accountable to the standard are all kind of steps that you got to take. And we are not there yet, but it's day two. And I do think that the new structure of spring practice has been really good. They got 8 great weeks with Coach Grizz and those guys and really put out some impressive numbers. From that standpoint, they all got really juiced Monday going out to pro day and watching those guys. I mean, that was the most fun and the scariest couple hours that I've had, since we've been here. Because one, we're starting to get players like that, but two, all those players are gone right now. And so that next crop is going to have to step up and really lead and help us develop and go, push us to where we want to go.
The two freshman receivers, Jalen Cooper and Dalen Singleton, what have you seen from them over the first 2 days? I know you guys are throwing them out there, trying to see if they can do it.
That's right.
Just 2 days.
They're wide-eyed, but they flash, and that's what you want. The things that we saw on tape, the things that we recruited, have flashed. You can see they're running by people. They catch it naturally. They are responsive to coaching. They're trying. It's just nothing like they've ever experienced before, and that's to be expected. So I think they're on track about where they need to be. The most comforting thing that you experience after 2 days of that is, are they tough enough to handle the urgency and the impression and the physicality and the things? And they've both displayed toughness, and that's hard for a high school senior to do in this kind of environment. And then they flash the skill set that we saw on tape, and really excited. Gun to my head right now, they'll play this fall. I think, obviously there's a lot of time between now and then, and there's a lot of development. And there's a lot of other factors that go into that. But I think that first impression was really good, and we got good older guys that can go in there in front of them. But they're getting great reps because they're kind of the second guys in the game, helping us out right now.
In the running back room, you obviously lose Brashard Smith, but what have you seen from the new face Chris Johnson, but also LJ and Derek?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that develops. We got a freshman running back that's coming in. I really do think Derek McFall's got a unique skill set. I like to see the flash that he's got. I wasn't necessarily sure what to think about Chris back and forth. This is going to sound absurd. This is probably what we thought about Brashard a year ago. He's a little casual. He's a little, you'd like to see some more of those things. And I'm not saying that Chris is going to be Brashard. That's not at all what I'm saying. But I do think that his demeanor's changed since he's gotten on the football field. And I've been impressed by that. I think he knows what's going on. I think he's wide-eyed. He's pretty unique, from the standpoint that he's kind of new to the position too. He's one of those versatile athletes that's made his way and is now full-time in the running back room and doing those things. So really, those are both guys that have 3 years to play. To be young guys like that, I think that you're where you want, and it'll be good to supplement with the incoming freshmen and doing the things that we got. But obviously, lost a ton of productivity out of that room, even with somebody like Roderick Daniels who, took off some of that. So those guys have got the skill set, they've got the toughness because they've been through the original setting of a college, of college football, and then. And we'll just continue to see how they develop. But they're young, they're eager. Coach Coop's done a great job, Coach Foster, and so I'm excited to watch them continue to come on.
What have you seen from Ty Hawkins early on, just kind of skill set and comfortability?
Yeah, I probably sound like a broken record again, flashing the same kind of stuff that we saw. I do think he's confident. He's really, really smart. He's a great communicator. He's competitive. He's out there trying to get every rep he can get. He's Coach King's done a great job putting him in situations where he can have success, and I think that he throws it really well. There's nothing about, again, the pressure and the physicality of playing the position right now, of all the parts moving around, where he's like not seeing it, or the arm doesn't, translate to college or anything. All that's checked out. I think so far during 2 days, and I think that he'll accelerate fast. He's going to be a guy that you put, and the more he knows, and the more confidence he gets, and the more comfortable situations we put him in, then I think the faster he'll develop.
In your room specifically, how big can the spring be for a guy like Adam Moore, with obviously RJ recovering? He battled through some injuries last year, but for him to really kind of take that next step.
Yeah, no, this is a huge spring for both Adam Moore and Trip Reardon. I think both of those guys this will be their second spring practice, right? So they know what to expect now. Adam's obviously a little bit, he's played in more games obviously than Trip has, but we're asking more of Adam to get, to be, to encompass the entirety of what we do at tight end, and so that's been fun to watch him develop. He's really taken that seriously. For the first time since he's been here, I thought he's taken all the other things that go into playing football seriously. I think he's done a great job in the weight room. I think he's done a great job in the training room. I think he's done a great job in the classroom. He's really invested all parts of his life to get in line with wanting to have the success that he's capable of having on the football field. And he's a guy that's running around out there that's 251 pounds, and he looks like he's 230. And those are the kind you want. Those are the solid built, really impressive guys. Tripp, obviously very smart, good ball player, needed not good catcher, right, just plays on the ball really well. He was a guy that had to display in the box some toughness and some physicality that he hadn't really yet. And so I thought, I've not watched the tape yet from today, but I thought there were some pads popped today that I've not heard with him in the game, which is good. That's exciting. It's where he needs to go, and that's the progression that he needs to be on, as a redshirt freshman headed into his sophomore year, is a guy that we'd like to be able to start getting in the game via maybe the special teams route, and then he's got great – I tell you, I've been really proud of our guys, RJ, Matt, and even Stone Eby, of really investing in those young guys like Tripp and Adam, and taking them during this off season and trying to get extra work. And even today, Matt was like, "Hey, we're going to get 5 extra throws with Kevin," blah 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 blah, and took it. So that kind of leadership is encouraging. It's also necessary for if we're going to get back to where we want to go. And so. While it's a good pat on the back, it's also like, hey man, we don't stand a chance if you don't. So it's been good to see them embrace that, and really, to see Matt Hibner's, what I knew about him 1 year ago compared to right now is, man, that's it. What a steal we got in him. So really excited about that. I know he's got a chance maybe to visit with you guys today, but has really done an outstanding job for our team, and has found himself really for the first time probably in his at least college career in kind of a leadership role where he's having to be more vocal and more aggressive, and he's trying. So
how big is that? RJ has obviously put together a resume, but Matt hadn't until really the end of last year, and what he was able to do for you guys, and then obviously he's carrying that over into this spring too, just for him to take that step.
Oh yeah, no, I think that. It was. We knew he was athletic. We knew he was talented. We knew he was tough. We knew he was versatile. coming in here. I don't know that we knew the entirety of all that and that he could execute at a high level for 60-plus snaps, which is what he ultimately had to do later in the season once RJ got hurt. And, I mean, you're talking through those late games where he was really playing a lot of snaps and was performing at a high level and did a great job there. So now that I think he's a confident kid anyway, but now that he's got the confidence of having the success that he's had at this level and, us continuing to win, he'd come from a winning program into a winning program. And so I don't think that he's missed the college football playoff in his college career. So I'm banking on that. But, so it's he just thinks that's what we do during football season, which is good. That's all their other kids start to believe it too. But I really excited about him. He's been a great person. He is invested in his future in football. And when he does that, then that permeates through our room, but then our team. And it's fun. Him and RJ are a great 1-2 tandem. And even, like I said, Stone is a guy that's got a very unique role on this team. And I would argue that we have, the best tight end room in the ACC, or at least have the chance to be. You know what I mean? So really excited about watching those guys continue to come on. I know RJ's busting his tail to get back, and all that's on schedule. So we'll see him this summer, and look forward to getting these young guys great work this spring. So to your point.
I know obviously you're not going to have the full playbook and the perfect execution at the end of spring, but do you have your checklist of what you feel like needs to be done by the end of the spring, and kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, one, we got to really lean into the what, how, why of what we're doing, right? And that is you got to know what to do before you know how to do it. And then once you teach them how to do it, you teach them why you're doing it. And that's kind of gets to your third level of teaching. So all those guys need to progress at least one level. If you're right now we got a bunch of high school seniors that just need to know what to do, right? And then we got that next level of guys that's all right. They're figuring out how to do it better than they've done it before. Trip Reardon, and then we've got the group of Stone, Matt, our two tackles, our quarterback, that's really got to take that level to, all right, why are we calling this play? And what are we trying to get executed, but with this protection? What are we doing with this particular motion in order to do that? And why does that help the execution of the play? We had a motion today where we ran our Y-cross concept, and our quarterback read back through it and hit a touchdown right here on our last drive. And that's something that he wouldn't even been close to being able to do a year ago. But now that he understands the concept of what we're doing, how the defense is moving, that's been a lot of fun. So we got to progress the learning level, right? And everyone on our offense has got to move one level, whatever that is, right? And then the next part of that, I think, is we got to establish our identity. Certainly that helps when you know who your quarterback is coming back, and we saw the strengths that he had. We saw where he needs to improve, so we can really build. We took a lot of time prior to spring break building that out, right? We want to make sure that we're working to his skill sets, taking advantage of what it is he's good at, and trying to build our offense, tailor it to him. So we got to establish that. So yes, it won't be the entirety of the playbook, but it will be what we're trying to get accomplished out of him, and make sure that we know what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he can see, what he would rather not look at. There's those sort of things that we got to make sure that we do. Obviously, there is a unity piece that Coach Lashley's done a fabulous job of for 4 years now, but of building, because you're exiting a whole bunch of people, and you're bringing in 22-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 18. They're all wearing different logos 3 months ago, and now they're all wearing ours. And so we've got to be able to build that. That's where somebody like Matt Hibner, who a year ago wasn't on our team, but came through it, our team absorbed him, he was able to produce for us, now can step up and really connect with those guys that are coming in. And then there's RJ Maryland, who came in here as a high school senior. He's believed in us. He's done this whole thing. He's a school record holder. He's done all that, and he's a guy that can connect with those high school guys. So they're building that team, I think, is incredibly important, specifically offensively, just because of the high detail level of execution that it is that you got to get to when you're operating at your best. And so, I think that those are probably the three main goals. I think each position's kind of got their own little individual, hey, we got to pass protect better, or we got to run after the catch, or whatever. We got those sort of things that we're emphasizing, but Coach had each one of the coaches turn in three things that we want to make sure that we can see physically on film at the end of spring practice. We improved there, and so if we can do that and maintain the physicality that we've played with the past couple years, if we can maintain the tempo, we got to raise that right now. We got to get the tempo back to where it is that we can execute and operate at our best. Then we'll have a chance to develop a pretty good team, I think. So I'm excited. Little different structure to spring practice this year. I think it'll be good, fresh look at what we're doing, and we're getting a lot in really fast. And so the newcomers and freshmen particularly are swimming, but they've shown the skills to really contribute to our team, sooner than later. Cool.
Thank you.
Heck yeah.